Hi. All right, so this is gonna be kind of a combo video. If any of you saw my last video, I had a surgery at the beginning of January of this month. So I'm still recovering. If you want a video on how that's going, just let me know. But I do want to do like a combo video, like I said, quick update, what's gonna be coming up for the rest of the month. I know we're already pretty much at the end of it, but I mean, I really couldn't do much for the past week, 2 weeks. So just bear with me. I want to talk about, and this is a thing that I have with my DIY projects. I'm a real firm believer in, you're going to make something with the intention that it's going to last you a long time. So if anyone has been curious since watching the beginning of my DIY YouTube journey, how my things are doing since I've made them, well, here you go. I'm going to let you know, but that'll just come in a second. So maybe for the rest of the month, since there's only like 10, 11 days left after today, I'm going to have some household hacks, about three. I'm going to do a video with like 3 of them. So that's coming up. Maybe another side gigs video on something I was thinking of the other day. So a side gig video on garage sales, because I used to do them all the time. So I wanted to share some insights. So maybe about 2 more videos before the month is over. That's pretty much the update for the whole month of January. Like I said, I've been out of commission. Now, let's go ahead and get started on how my old projects are doing. I'm not going to do all of them because I have like 60 or 50 something videos, but I'm going to do, I'd say, a good span of a timeline here of stuff that I've made. If you remember this one, it's my decoupage recycled can. If you saw the video, I made this out of an Invamil can when my son was still on formula. It's been in the same spot, which is on my I have an antique radio in my living room, and it's doing just fine. Nothing is falling apart. I love it. Everything's fine. So if you saw that tutorial, how I did it, it's completely fine as just like a decor piece on a table that's not touched too much. This has not fallen apart at all. So good on that. What's next? Yes. My coveted favorite bag. It's become my second favorite bag because I finally got an adult purse, which I am kind of really in love with. But you remember this one, don't you? My ramen noodle bag purse. I will be quite honest with you. I use this to describe how it's been holding up. Up until a couple months ago when I got my adult purse, I used this purse a lot. I swap in between this purse and I had another plaid purse that I always use. So this got tons of usage. Tons. I really put it to good use. The only thing that came off since then is I had the ramen noodle luggage tag here. It got rubbed off. So that's something to consider because I do have a tutorial on how I did this. But I think it was just the surface that I dealt with this, because this was a luggage tag versus the ones that I did of the gift cards. Those are actually just fine. Those haven't fell apart at all. There is some wear and tear here in the corner. Nothing tearing though, it's just slightly frayed. The vinyl has not gotten any holes. Neither has the inside of the bag had any damage, or the noodle bags, because you know how I put the vinyl over to protect the noodle bags. The noodle bags inside are still completely intact. They do not have any holes from the inside. Everything is perfect. The straps, I mean, this bag, if you saw this video, the way I made this bag, it has held up incredibly well. So if you're going to make this tutorial, or you've just been worried about not wasting your time because it might just fall apart, honest to God, this bag is pretty much just as it was, as strong as it was the day I made it. So think about that. Pretty proud of myself there, that I make stuff that doesn't really fall apart. All right, update on this bag. This bag, you may think I'm nuts. I actually put this bag to good use as a travel bag. I took this fucking thing to the hospital with me. It's what I had my clothes in. It was my overnight bag. I took it in the summer. We went to the lake with it. Just wherever there was like a vacation thingy, I tried to take this bag with me and stuff all my crap in it. Also has held up incredibly well. You know what? When I make the things that I make, I actually use them. So I'm not lying to you. The lining on the inside still intact. The vinyl that I used to make this has not rubbed off, ripped, or torn. The only thing, if you're going to make this bag, that you may want to actually invest some more money in is the spray paint on these hula hoops. I would buy a very high quality primer, because after the uses, it did start rubbing off a bit, and I don't know if you can see in the video, but you can see the rainbow colors from the original hula hoop, which I didn't do when I made this because I was working as usual with a limited budget. But if you're going to make this, I would highly recommend that you buy a very high quality primer. Prime the hula hoops before you spray paint them black or whatever color you're doing this bag in. But other than that, it's held up great. Another successful project that it's going to stay for a long time. And this was the most recent one from December that I did. It was the unconventional wreath that I did with the vintage sewing supplies. I had this on my door all December outside. You know, it was exposed to the elements. For being a hot glue project, which I did explain, I use hot glue only because of the texture that I wrapped the yarn around the foam wreath ring and just the different textures. Nothing fell apart. The only thing that fell off, which I should have used E6000, was I had a button on top of this button, and that's the only thing that fell off. But other than that, I mean, it was exposed to the cold, it snowed, it rained. I mean, it didn't get wet, it's under my porch on my door, but it was exposed to hot and cold temperatures and high winds, because we get high winds around here. But it held up pretty well. So if you're curious about this project, it did also hold up quite excellent through the elements. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. If anybody has any questions or whatever, just ask me. But I'm pretty proud of these projects that I've done. They've held up quite nicely, and I hope to just have them still in the future, especially my ramen bag. I love my ramen bag. But thank you so much. Have a good one. Ta-ta.